can we, I don't know how to describe how to him how to get to the options panel.
I don't, he had to pick that option menu to hit the computer audio when he logged in.
Philip, can you hear me?
He might not have a built-in microphone. He'll have to just call in, but with the call-in number.
Looks like they may have dropped off and coming back in. Yeah, it says offline now.
Okay, well, we're 1 minute to 7, so it's Philip. Look, he's frozen. All right, June, so I'm gonna go ahead and broadcast now at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everybody. This is June Perrin, the Vice Chair. Hello and welcome. I'm the Vice Chair, June Perrin, and I will be presenting over this meeting. As we begin, I'd like to review a few housekeeping items from the Commission, applicants, and members of the public present tonight remotely. Commissioners will be unmuted and able to speak freely during this meeting. Please limit background noise to the extent possible. For each agenda item, I will call each commissioner by name to request comments or questions. Please wait until called to avoid speaking over one another. When speaking, please identify yourself by name so that we know who is speaking. All votes will be taken by roll call vote. Applicants will be muted by staff until their agenda item is called. Once called, the applicant will be unmuted to make their presentation and answer any questions of the commission. When your item is complete, voted on, you are free to leave the meeting. Public comments will be solicited during each actionable agenda item. Once I ask for public comment or a specific item, please click Raise Hand on GoToWebinar in order to make public comments. The meeting organizer will announce the speaker by stating their name and unmuting their audio to allow up to 3 minutes of public comment. When calling, please state your name and address for the record and proceed with your comments, speaking clearly into your device during the allotted time. And another important note is before being individually identified, all members of the public will be muted. Do not use the chat or question functions in the GoToWebinar, as these functions will not be monitored during this meeting. As a reminder, this meeting can be viewed live on Comcast Local Channel 18 or streamed on the Village of Royal Palm Beach YouTube channel. Links to that channel are available on the Village Royal Palm Beach website at www.royalpalmbeach.com. So I'd like to wish everybody a good evening, and I'd like to welcome you to the Tuesday, October 11, 2020, Planning and Zoning Commissioner meeting. Lauren, can we please have a roll call?
Yes, of course. Chairman Ross Shillingford. Vice Chairman June Perrin.
Here.
Commissioner David Leland.
Here.
Commissioner Philip Marquis. Commissioner Ray Nazareth.
Here.
Adam Miller.
Here.
And Gary Speck.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Appreciate you. Roll call. Can I have approval of the minutes of the June 23rd Planning and Zoning meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 23rd Planning and Zoning meeting.
I second.
Thank you, Dave and Adam. Thank you very much. Jennifer will swear in any audience or commissioners.
If we could, Madam Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt. If we could call for the vote on the approval of the minutes.
Oh, yes. Can we have a vote on the approval of the minutes, please?
You can just say all in favor. We don't need a roll call. You can say all in favor and then any opposed.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing the vote carried 5-0, approved. Minnie, do we need to swear in anybody?
Yes, ma'am. If you could read into the record, I'm gonna go ahead and since we're doing this remotely, we've been swearing them in at each item rather than how we do it when we're in person and swear everybody in at the beginning. So if
Okay.
you could read item number 1 into the record, then I'll swear them in at that point.
Okay, good. That's great to me. Okay, planning and zoning item number 1, application 20-06, JBL Village Shops. The applicant Sugar Sign LLC is requesting architectural approval for new directional signage for a property located at 10101 Southern Boulevard.
Thank you. And do we have Lauren, the applicant, on the phone?
Yes, we do. 1 second. She can hear you. Her name is Jocelyn.
Hello, everyone. I'm present.
Hi, Jocelyn. Can you say your name for the record for me?
Jocelyn.
Thank you. This isn't one of the judicial matters, so I need to swear you in. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Let me enable my video.
There you are. Perfect. Thank you, ma'am. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you. And I'll turn back to the commission and ask if there are any ex parte communications with regard to application 20-06 that need to be disclosed.
No.
Okay. Thank you. I'll turn it back to you, Madam Vice Chair.
Lauren, if you could allow me to take over the screen.
Okay.
Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, the applicant is requesting architectural approval to install wayfinding signs for the Village Shops Shopping Center located at the northwest corner of State Road 7 and Southern Boulevard. This is an illustration of the wayfinding signs being proposed. And here are the locations of these wayfinding signs. There will be 3 of them. Staff is recommending approval of this application. With that being said, I'll turn the floor back over to the Vice Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to know, would the applicant like to make any presentation?
Surely, yes.
Thank
So JBL, we own a few properties in the area. We're really invested in the city, the village of Royal Palm Beach. We're gonna be soon. We're gonna be coming in with new tenants. One of them is Access ER Hospital. We're gonna be remodeling our whole entire center. So we're very happy to be in part with the village of Royal Palm Beach. We're trying to beautify it, and we thank you for approval tonight.
Thank you very much. Are there any public comments?
Not at this time.
Seeing no public comments, Commissioners, do any of you wish to make any comments or statements?
I have no comment.
No
No.
comments, no statements
No
at all?
No
Okay.
comment.
Since there are no further comments or questions, can I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion to approve application 20-06 AAR.
Can I have a second, please?
I'll second the motion as read.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any of those opposed to the motion, say nay. Thank you. The motion passed 5-0. Thank you. Thank you. All the best. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
More beautiful things to come.
That's the main idea of the village, keeping things beautiful.
Thank you.
And
Okay,
Madam Vice Chair, I'm sorry if I could interrupt you before we move on to the next application. I see Philip now, but Philip, could you try speaking? I don't believe I can hear you.
no,
Yeah, Philip, we can't hear you, so unless you can figure out quickly a way to unmute, I think it's probably best for you to drop off. And we'll try to resolve whatever the issue is prior to the next meeting.
Hold on, I'll run a mic down to his house.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, Philip. I just want our record to be clear.
Philip, take care, all right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. You may proceed.
Thank you very much. Application number 20-65. J. Morton Planning and Landscaping Architect is requesting a site plan modification and architectural approval to eliminate the current approved daycare and develop a 12,100 square foot medical professional office building for a property located on the north side of Southern Boulevard between Crestwood Head Avenue and Old Crestwood Boulevard. Do we need to swear in any?
Yes, ma'am. Lauren, who do we have on the computer?
Lauren McClellan.
Okay. Are you able to turn your, there you are, I see you now. My apologies. Can you say your name for the record, ma'am?
Sure, Lauren McClellan.
Thank you. As was the case in the previous item, this is a quasi-judicial matter, so I need to swear you in. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, and I'll turn it back to the commission and ask if there are any ex parte communications with regard to 20-65 that need to be disclosed at this time.
No.
No.
Thank you. I'll turn it back to you, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you very much. Village staff, would you like to make the presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. The applicant is requesting a site plan modification, building and landscape architectural approval for a 1.56 acre commercial portion of the overall 35.23 acre mixed-use development located east of Crestwood Boulevard on the northwest corner of Cypress Head Avenue and Southern Boulevard. The applicant is proposing changes to the previously approved and vested site plan for the commercial component of the project. The applicant is proposing to convert the approved 120 student and 12,500 square foot daycare facility within Building C to a 12,100 square foot medical professional office. This will result in a reduction of 400 square feet. In addition to changing the use of the building, the building footprint is being modified, and the parking lot has been adjusted to accommodate the proposed building. The parking lot and the access driveway have been revised to address the new use and building. The minor adjustment of the driveway has resulted in the removal of one on-street parking space, and the revised parking lot has added 40 spaces to meet the increased parking requirement of the office use. In reviewing this petition, village staff considered conformity with Chapter 26 of the village's Code of Ordinances. Specifically, the proposed site meets the requirements for the mixed-use development district as it relates to parcel size, parcel width, setbacks, landscaping and landscape setback, maximum building height, maximum commercial floor area, and parking. In reviewing, okay, so here is a illustration of the location of the parcel C in relation to the other parcels on the site. Here is a illustration of the proposed new site plan configuration, and that site plan or that area is shown here as outlined by my cursor. Currently, what they have is a approval for an opening in this area here to Park Central. The applicant is proposing to shift that opening just a little bit to the west and to line up with the parking lot just to the north of the site. This is actually, this opening actually aligns or is a representation of what the original approval was back in 2006. They're moving it back to where it was originally placed. Here's some architectural renderings of the new building. which will be consistent with the architecture, the approved architecture for the development. And here's the landscape plan. As you can see, there's going to be adequate landscaping, and that landscaping meets village code. And there will be a nice size landscape island in the middle of the parking lot. I'm sure Ross would have loved that. Overall, the proposed site plan is in conformance with the village's requirements for the amended mixed-use development. Staff is requesting a recommendation of approval. And we did receive a letter from the Property Owners Association for the overall, or for the residential portions. And I'll read some of that. For the immediate development for this parcel, from what information we have available, there's just one entrance to the proposed medical commercial office from the east-west section of Park Central. Since there are a lot of joggers, bicyclists, and children using this road and sidewalk near the townhomes on Park Central, we request that this entrance be changed to where the present construction entrances on the north-south section of Park Central. This location works fine for construction traffic. It should work fine for the commercial traffic and removes traffic from the near townhomes. And I'm going to go back to this slide here. I believe what they're talking about is creating an entrance here. That entrance was contemplated during this site planning process. The applicant had expressed to the village that the reconfiguration and the use and the location at that entrance point cause issues with some of the drainage, and also would then affect a lot of the treescape that is along this entrance drive. And quite frankly, their entitlement is to have an entrance currently here, but now shifted to here. And the applicant can elaborate on that a little bit when they give their comments. And staff feels as though this entrance here is an appropriate entrance, and it did improve the situation with the interaction with the townhouses, moving it from this area to this area, in that it lines up better with the parking lot area. And also, you are not going to have a whole lot of traffic exiting. That interaction is going to be more with a parking lot entrance rather than driveways at the townhouse portions of this development. And again, we are we're requesting a recommendation of approval, and I'll turn the floor back over to the Vice Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Applicant like to make a presentation?
I would be happy to. I think Bradford did a great job with his presentation. Thank you very much. I'm happy to answer any questions. If you have any, I'm happy to address the turn lane, not the turn lane, the entrance into the site. If you want me to, do you have any questions about it? We think that it's better on the north side of the parcel. If we put it on the on the west side of the parcel, then we would have to create a left turn in lane as well from Park Central, which was causing for some additional landscape material to be removed as well. I think aligning it with the driveway to the north is a better circulation for this project. Like I said, I have a presentation. If you want me to go through it, I'm happy to do so.
Does anybody want to see the presentation?
Yes, I'd like to see it, please.
Is it possible to share my screen, or if Bradford has it?
Yes, give us 1 second. I think Lauren can help you
Okay.
share your screen.
Lauren, let me jump in here. If you could just hit the high points, or those points in which I didn't hit and that you would like to add to.
Yeah. I mean, actually, if you just want it, Bradford, if you have my my presentation up and you just want to go to the rendered site plan slide.
I'm navigating there now.
As long as it's possible, if not, we'll just recommend it without it.
I'm not seeing it. Lauren, are you?
It's
you-
in your,
you
it's
see
in
my
your,
screen?
it's, yeah, it's in your email. What we forwarded, but it wasn't moved to that file.
Forwarded by you.
Yes, where it says staff report and P and Z.
All right, if you want to go down to slide 6. Perfect, thank you.
Got it.
So this is pretty much the crux of the presentation. Like I said, Bradford did a good job. This project was originally approved for a daycare with 120 students. That daycare would have more peak AM traffic trips than the proposed medical office would. So the office has overall less traffic. And we are aligning with the driveway to the north. As you can see, we've got landscaping around the project properties. We have reduced the total building square footage by 400 square feet. And we meet the parking requirements. We are providing pedestrian connectivity to the congregate living, assisted living facility that is to the east of the site as well.
Very good.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to do it that way, just the lines proper.
Leland, would you like to make any comments? Or maybe I should ask if there's any comments or questions from the public?
I have one, his name is Ethan Mann.
Hi,
We can hear
can
you,
you hear
Ethan.
me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm the president of the Homeowners Association at Park Central. And I have had a large number of people express concerns with the amount of traffic on that east-west section of Park Central, the road. And we are still requesting that the entrance be moved to the Southern Boulevard Access Road section, the north-south section of the road, which gets rid of all the traffic off of the east-west section of Park Central and away from the residents and pedestrians and all that kind of people, which leaving the entrance where it is now still exposes one set of the townhouses to that increased traffic. And I guess the only objection I've heard to moving it is that it would involve making some cuts in the divider and the shrubbery on the divider, which I don't think is a very good objection if we're objecting to the trying to increase the safety of the residents.
There would also be a monetary cost.
Yes.
So it would be substantial cost and everything for that?
Pardon?
Would that be a substantial cost to move that entrance, Lauren? and Fred?
You know, my engineer isn't here, so I apologize. I don't know explicitly what that cost is, but I do know when we were initially looking at it, so I'm looking at my site plan. I know when we were initially looking at it, we were concerned about stacking for those people coming in who are coming and want to make a left into the project. The road Cypress Key does connect to Cypress Head. So if there are people who are coming off the Southern, they can still access via Cypress Head, travel along the Cypress Key Road or Park Central Road, Park Central Road, and still come down and hit that office building too.
Right, and we'd object to that because that increases the traffic. Because that increases the traffic even more along in front of all the townhouses. And if the entrance was on the the Southern Boulevard, kind of the access road there, with a roundabout on it, then that everybody would be using that road and not the back entrance and Park Central. And also at Park Central, I have heard a rumor that eventually there's going to be a stoplight on Southern Boulevard there.
If it's warranted, yes.
And that would mean, that would even increase the need or the utility of having the main entrance on that north-south section of the road. And if a cut has to be made in that median there, then it would be that cut in the median would be available for the other commercial development on the further west-hand side of the road there also. And it would serve both sides of the commercial development.
Thank you, sir. Madam Chair, if I could just remind you, I think there are other public comments, and if you could remind the public that it is public comment, so they're entitled to 3 minutes of comment. But I do believe that other people have raised their hands for to Lauren.
Thank you very much, sir, for your comments. Lauren, is there anybody else that would like to make a public comment?
Yes, his name is Martin Fitz.
And
I
Madam
have-
Vice Chair, once we unmute him, if we could ask any members of the public to state their names and their addresses for the record.
Okay.
I did unmute him, but it looks like he's not able to unmute himself. So I'm going to go ahead and move down to Waldeck. I think he's on now.
Hello, sir. Hello, Walt? Is he there?
Yeah, he's on green.
Can you guys hear me? Would you like to make a presentation or talk? Comments?
Yes, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me at all?
Yes.
Yes, my name's Waldeck Bonholm. I live in the townhouse community. My address is 11944 Cypress Key Way. And I second what Ethan brought up as far as concerns in the community. I am a person who jogs on that back end road, and those parking lots that was referenced, those parking lots are used by overflow parking for the residents that live on that side. And having more traffic over there would be increased hazardous to joggers as well as some of the residents who walk their dogs in that area. I think having it on the access area that's near the turnaround is probably the better option. And plus, it will provide easier traffic flow for any additional commercial development that is done on the west end, which is currently empty at the moment.
Thank you very much, sir. Are there any
Sure.
other questions?
Nope, not at this time. That is it.
Thank you very much for all the comments. Are there any comments and questions from the commissioners regarding this application?
Yes, I'd like to ask a couple of questions. First, this goes to Lauren. Did you do any kind of traffic study with the county?
We provided a what's called a traffic equivalency statement, saying that what was there previously is either equal to or more than what we're currently approving now, or what we're requesting right now. So the equivalency statement that we provided is that the office generates less than or the same as the amount of traffic that the previous daycare did.
Okay, and this question goes to Ethan, who happens to be the president of the Park Central HOA. I want to know how many residents this creates a hardship for. And it sounds like also the other caller said something about the safety of the residents, the dog walkers. So I don't want our residents in that area in Royal Palm Beach to be at risk. So it sounds like there's some pieces that are missing here that I'd like answered. So can I get how many residents account from that gentleman, Ethan, from the Park Central HOA, please?
Hi, this is Ethan Mann. There are 146 total houses, or 147 total houses and townhomes in the development, and over half of them have children. And I haven't actually done an actual number, but you can estimate for that there are at least 300 residents, probably more than that in the area. And if you come here during the day, you'll see that there are a lot of children, there are a lot of families in those townhouses. And so that's my big safety worry, and that's what the big safety worry that many of the other residents have expressed to me is that that if we can get the traffic just off onto the access road where there aren't people and children, that it would it shouldn't hurt the commercial utility of that site, but it will help the safety of the residents.
Yes, Ethan, I agree with that. And also, I thank you for the count. You said it's 147 residents. And, and also these are children and families that are at risk. So that's my main concern. And I agree with you because our resident safety comes first. So I'm not really convinced that enough was done in that area.
So we can take a look at this again. I just want to reiterate that this master plan was approved with this configuration with all of these commercial parcels accessing off of Park Central. We are keeping that same configuration that was previously approved, that these residents bought into this community with the current approval as this way is. But like I said, I'm happy to look at reconfiguring the access. Go ahead, Bradford.
So currently they have an entitlement to access at this point here that was approved when the site plan came through for the daycare center. Now the question becomes, how does this entrance interact with the pedestrian traffic, the people that are walking and jogging? So let's take a look at that. There is
I can't see your screen. If you're intending to share screen, I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, how about now?
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so let me start over. Here is where they have an entitlement to have an entrance off of Park Central. This was proved recently, as recent as 2.5 years ago, for the entrance to be here, which would then interact with townhouse number 113 and 112, and could possibly have an effect on 114. The applicant has agreed to shift that entrance to line up with the parking area for these townhouses, relieving 113 and 112 of a traffic conflict as people exit Park Central or even enter off of into the site. Now, the question then becomes, or the concern was also with pedestrian traffic. As you can see, there is a robust sidewalk system within this development. This development was designed for pedestrians to have the ability to go from the townhouses to the commercial areas within this development. Now, if there is concern that people walking down this sidewalk may interact with traffic at this entrance point, there is, let me remind you, there is a sidewalk on the north side of Park Central which there is no interaction with that entrance at all. Just wanted to point that out, that this development does have a pretty substantial pedestrian circulation and sidewalk system where the residents could completely bypass that entrance by, by using the sidewalk on the north side of Park Central.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me to realign that intersection. I don't see a problem with that.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry, any other commissioners have any comments or questions they'd like to ask?
Yes,
I have
I have
another-
one more question. Yeah, go ahead. One last question
Go ahead, Ray.
is to Lauren. Did you reach out to the residents of Park Central, the HOA, and to Ethan? Because usually before you do anything, and I've been on this commission for a while, usually you go and you make a pitch to the residents, because it sounds like the residents there are unhappy, and if there's a safety concern, then that to me is the first thing I look at for my approval and vote. So the question is, have you reached out?
What we've done is we sent out a public notice to residents with 300 feet from this property. We sent them letters to their homes. That reaches if not all, but a very good portion of those residents within this development. One of the other things that we're required to do by state statute is to advertise in the newspaper this application at this meeting on this night.
Bradford, that's not my question. My question to Lauren is, did her and, Lauren and the agency or company, whatever you represent, did you personally reach out to the residents? That wasn't my question.
We did not. I'm happy to have discussion with Mr. Mann if need be. We did not. We figured that going from a conditional use of the daycare back to an office building wouldn't cause any concerns to the residents.
That's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
So, Lauren, I don't remember from the presentation, how big is the medical office that's going to be there? Like how many offices are going to be in that area?
Well, it's 12,100 square feet. The daycare was approved for 12,500 square feet. So we're 400 square feet less. The inside hasn't been planned yet.
Right.
A potential tenant for the building is an imaging center, but they have not signed a lease yet with my client.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the commissioners? I'd like to ask one, this medical professional office, what will the hours of operation be and the days, please? The times? Yeah, I really don't know that.
Yeah, again, we don't have a tenant lined up yet, so we would just meet the village hours of operation at this point in time. We don't.
And I guess you decided to go with old people instead of young students, because that'd be better off in the long run for seniors than the young kids. Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions or comments from anyone? Seeing none, can I please have a motion? Seeing nobody, make a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept application number 20-65 SPM, AAR.
May I have a second on that, please? Seeing no second on that, what do we have to move on to next, Laura?
If there's no second, then that motion would fail for lack of a second. So now it would be up to the commission to entertain any other motions to be made.
I'd like to make a motion for denial And I'd like to, with the condition that Lauren would talk to the residents of Park Central HOA and come to some happy medium. And because I really get that there are serious issues of safety here, and our residents come first. I'm going on record saying that. So I'm making a motion for denial, but if you work it out, then yes, I would, but for now it's denial.
Ray, how do you feel that there's going to be a problem with safety there? Would it be better for people to be making U-turns?
Well, let's ask the president then, because he brought up some good points there, David. And
If I may make one more comment, and Bradford, please jump in here as well. But this application is not unlike any other application. All village staff has reviewed this application, including Chris Marsh, the village engineer. As Bradford said, they already have an entitlement a little bit further to the east on the same street. So I just want to be careful about how we phrase safety concerns, because you have a recommendation from staff before you tonight for approval. You certainly wouldn't have that if village staff review suggested a safety issue. So I just want to be clear that we remember that village staff, that includes Chris Marsh, the village engineer. Bradford is obviously on the computer here. Pedro with the fire department, the sheriff's office, all of our normal TSR staff have reviewed this project. So I just want to remind you all of that as you move forward with your conversation.
And I would resubmit that we get approval for this.
Also mentioned that we did have proper sidewalk on the other side that the residents would be able to walk on with no interruption of in and out traffic. And this was previously approved back, you said, 2 years ago?
I believe it was around 2 years ago, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, and this was already approved.
Could I make a statement, please? A short one?
Who is speaking? The public comment period is closed, so if we can have IS, I'm sorry, if you're a member of the public, that portion has been closed.
Okay.
So, can we have another motion to move this forward?
If we could, Madam Vice Chair, you have a motion on the floor. You need to solicit whether there's a second to that motion before we move forward.
Is there a second to that motion?
Could someone remind me what the second motion was?
Ray, if you could restate your motion, please.
Yes, I'm making a motion for denial, and I would consider approval if Lauren, representing the side that has the approval, through our staff, just open the dialogue with Ethan and the people that are concerned about safety. It's a simple request.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
And okay, Lauren, that's all I'm saying. I'm not.
Yeah.
I am for development and commercial, but what comes first is the children and families and residents of our Royal Palm Beach. And I've served our community for decades, and I'll stand by my motion.
Can I get a second on that? Okay.
And Madam Vice Chair, if you could get closer to your microphone, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Can I get a second on that motion? Seeing that there is no second on that motion, can we come up with a motion that we feel we will be able to vote on? Go ahead, Adam.
Well, I believe we did not, the motion did not get a second to approve the change, right? Commissioner Nazareth shared, there was an issue with the applicant not maybe talking with the HOA. I think if we don't make a motion, Mitty, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, that the applicant can come back next month or next meeting, and there might be some additional information at that time that might help us come to a decision. Is that correct?
Well, you have an agenda item before you tonight that you need to take action on here tonight. You, as the Planning and Zoning Commission, can impose reasonable conditions on any motions that are made or any projects that are before you. Those have to be, proportional to the request being made. So you can certainly discuss as a commission here tonight any condition that you would want to place on an approval if you want the applicant to go back to the HOA. But you do have an item before you tonight that you need to make a decision tonight on.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so, I'll make a motion. I make a motion to approve the application, on the conditional approval of Lauren's company, having a discussion with the HOA, to ensure the safety of all the residents.
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
We could do a roll call, just if we could have Lauren do a roll call, Madam Vice Chair, I'm sorry, just so the record is very clear.
So, Ross Schillingford, June Perrin,
Aye.
Commissioner David Leland,
Aye.
Commissioner Philip Marquis, Commissioner Ray Nazareth,
Aye.
Adam Miller, alternate 1,
Aye.
and Gary Speck, alternate 2.
So the motion,
Great compromise, Adam.
so the motion passed 5-0. Oh, sorry, any of those opposed to the motion?
You have roll call, Madam Vice Chair. You're okay. And just so the record's clear, you passed with a 4-0.
4-0, yes, that is correct.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
I want to say thank you, Lauren. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
So now we'll close out that portion and move on to the local planning and zoning meeting.
Yes, if you could entertain a motion to adjourn the P and Z portion.
I'd like to have an adjournment of the meeting, please, so the P and Z meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the P and Z meeting.
Thank you very much. I guess, do we need a second on that?
I already
Yes,
did.
ma'am. You got one.
Got one. Thank you very much. All right, I'd like to call to order the local planning and zoning meeting for Tuesday, August 11th. Thank you. Do we need a roll call again?
No, you can have Lauren. If you could just reflect that the same members are present on the dais remotely. You
Yes,
still
the
have a
same
quorum.
members. Yes, we still have a quorum and the same members are present from the Planning and Zoning Commission to local planning agency meeting.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Can I have a motion on the previous minutes of the meeting in June 23rd?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the motion passed 4-0. Thank you very much. We have one item on the local planning and zoning meeting. That's application 19-120 for Lakeside Landing.
I think.
I was reading
Yeah,
the
you have
wrong
an old one. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry. We have a village staff is proposing an amendment to chapter 20, signs of section 20-57 in order to increase the size limitation for freestanding monument signs and the village-owned property. This increases size limits for the PO zoning district is consistent with the size limitations for freestanding monuments, signs in the other zone districts within the village.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. And just very quickly, I'll give you a very brief presentation. This is a very minor amendment, and then I'll answer any questions that you have. As the Vice Chair said, this is a minor amendment to Chapter 20 of the Village Code, which pertains to property in the public ownership district and other village-owned property. It does essentially two things. Ordinance 1004, it revises the size of monument signs. Rather, it increases them from the current code, which allows 30 square feet in area. It bumps that number up to 42 square feet in area. That's consistent with other zoning districts, the size of monument signs in other zoning districts. For whatever reason, village-owned signs were made to be smaller at some point in the past. And then it makes a similar modification to the both height and width regulations. So it changes the height from 5 feet to 7 feet, and the width from 7 feet to 8 feet. So again, a very minor tweak to Chapter 20 of the Village Code, and with that, I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. I guess there's no comments from the public on that, right?
We need to ask Lauren if anybody has raised their hand and would like to make comment on Ordinance 1004.
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you very much, Lauren. Any questions from the commissioners?
Yes, I would just like to make a statement that in this day and age, anything we can do to help promote small business and localized business, it's our responsibility. It absolutely is.
I agree with that. We all need help at this time.
I have a question.
So go ahead, Adam.
I think this question, maybe, or Bradford, I'm not really sure. You know, I kind of remember maybe over the last year or two, we might have some items come before us about regarding the monument size. I kind of remember one or two of those. If we had voted against that or not approved that, would those applicants have the ability to come back now, or most of that's just taken care of already? I'm just wondering.
And Bradford, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Go ahead, Mitty.
This is just so we're clear. This section of the Village Code deals with the public ownership or the PO zoning district. So that is village-owned property. In your other zoning code sections, CG, commercial general, those would apply to the private sector. This specifically applies to public ownership and village-owned property.
Thank you for that clarification.
Perfect.
I'm good.
This makes the size consistent with what the commercial private folks are allowed to have. More consistent, I'll say.
Thank you very much, Betty. Seeing that, can I have a motion, please? Do we have any other questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, may I please have a motion on this, please?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion on 19-120 as read to be approved.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, Brandon, to restate, this is ordinance 1004.
1004.
Thank you very much. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Adam, thank you. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Do we need an individual call for this?
No, it's okay. If you just ask if there's any opposed, you're okay.
Any opposed regarding this item? Seeing none, the motion passed 4-0. Thank you very much. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Your next meeting, just so everyone has the dates, is September 22nd. And then if you could have a motion and a second for adjournment and a unanimous vote.
Yeah, I'd like to have a motion for adjournment of the local meeting, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
And a second. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Thank
good night,
you.
everyone.
Good night, everyone.